Hello, my name's Maria and you're watching The Rich and Simple Living. Today I thought I was going to talk a little bit more about retirement because we're giving Dean's sandwiches a bit of a rest, to give his belly a break. But I'm out and about at the moment, as you can tell. I'm in the car. I'm going to go and get some salady bits for tea because I ran out and thought, we'll have salad, it's so hot. But anyway, like I said, I was going to talk a little bit more about retirement. And I was saying the other day that we weren't getting on that brilliant with retirement because it wasn't structured in any way. It was sort of not planned, and Dean was getting bored, and it's a case of we didn't really know what we were doing with it. So we'd been talking over the weekend and I was saying we should try seasonal retirement. He says, what on earth is that? I said, well, we'll plan things loosely around the seasons and sort of take it from there. So we're a bit late for doing that this year, but we'll still have a go. But anyway, seasonal retirement, what is it? Well, what is it for us? I mean, it's different things for different people, because if you're one who's going to be travelling, if you've retired to travel full time, then you might be seasonally travelling, so you'd go somewhere hot in winter time and maybe somewhere a bit cooler in the summertime. So yeah, you might plan your travels around the seasons. So seasonal retirement could be a few different things, but for us it was like, right, we'll start from January and we'll go from there what we are going to do, because we're two different people in the sense that Dean's a home bird and I'd like to travel, but I can't travel because I suffer anxiety. But that desire, that want to do it is still there. And that's what I'd like to try and sort of get back into. I don't mean big travels. I don't know if I'll ever do that again, but, I'd like to try and work up to going out and about a bit more. So I wrote some notes down here, seeing the sun shining on them. So yeah, I thought what we'll do, we wrote down and discussed from January through to December. So I thought starting January, which is sort of February's our bleakest month, but January, you're coming out of Christmas. So you're sort of packing all your Christmas away. You've got the New Year's Day and you're sort of packing away after that, packing Christmas away. But we've still got the shops and everything. I always find I like to go and do the January sales, see what's toys are on cheap to put up for the grandchildren for birthdays and the following Christmas, and any other bits and pieces, gifts throughout the year, like I say, for birthdays and things like that are coming up. So I like to source the sales and go in and out a few times. So sort of January, I'm not in a mode for travelling or not doing anything in particular, because you're sort of winding back down to get back into a routine for the year ahead. And it's a time also when we can sit down and plan. I said to Dean, January is a time we should plan. So while we're sort of winding down for Christmas and going in the sales and buying things, putting things up, and at the same time, we can be planning for the year ahead. So what could our year ahead look like? So we'll go into February, and February is a dull month. It's normally not very good for going outside. So we could start indoor jobs, because we could have written down what jobs need doing. Now, we've written down a list of jobs that need doing this year, and boy, there's a lot of them. And it's certainly going to take more than the months I've allocated for such things. But the jobs we've got to do at the moment are jobs that won't take so long in the future, or might not need repeating for a few years. But I'll perhaps discuss them, might show you them tomorrow maybe, because I'm out and about today. So yeah, February is a time to start any indoor jobs. So maybe you've got a job that needed doing, something needed fixing, or you want to put a little touch of paint somewhere. That's a time, when you can do all of that. I mean, some people, of course, like to travel, go away, make the most of sort of quiet times and that. But for us, this is talking about our goals for our year, what we can do. So yeah, it's a time to start any indoor jobs, because it's dark nights and you don't want to do much anyway. We don't. Well, Dean doesn't. So yeah, we could start them. Then we've got like your March and April, so we go into March and April where it's starting to get nicer. So if there's any outdoor jobs, and like this year it's been so nice at the beginning of the year, if there's any good spells, you can go out and start doing some outdoor jobs. I mean, like, as we have to paint the fencing every year, we give that a lick of paint every year to freshen it up for the year ahead. So that's the sort of time you get a nice spell. Springtime, that's time for doing all that kind of thing. And of course, if you're a gardener, you will start doing all your seeds and all that. Also then, such March, April. So and then I'm thinking, well, May, June and July, they're nice months. They're months I'd like to have finished all of the jobs, all the chores that need doing, apart from your normal things like, keeping on top of your lawns if you've got lawns, mowing them and a bit of weed and stuff like that. But yeah, they're the months, and I'd like to try and do a bit of travelling, and maybe started with a few days out here and there and sort of do something with that. So we've not got no set times for this year. Maybe next year in January we'll sit down and say, right, we're definitely going to visit this, we're going to visit that, because I know people who do that, they sort out what they want to do in the year and when they want to do it. So that's what I'd like to sort of do from January next year, is when you're discussing what jobs you want to do in the year, also what places you like to visit. So May, June and July would be our times for doing that, because they're quieter times as well. I mean, school's in, so it's not hectic or busy, and we can take advantage of that time to do that. And especially, like, Dean's not big on travelling, so he wouldn't be fussed with crowds and that. And because of my anxiety, it's an ideal time to go out and about. So things like this year, we've got National Trust memberships. My son and daughter-in-law have bought us one for the last 3 years, which is a really great gift, and we really appreciate that. And so we'll go to some National Trust properties, and we've got our favourite ones, and we'll start by going there and having a walk round. And we've said we're going to take Cassie this year to one or two of them and see how she goes as well. So we're looking forward to doing that. And if I start somewhere local, things I know, or places I've been, even if it is a bit further out, but I've been and feel happy to travel there, they're the sort of places that we'll aim for first and try and build up on that. So yeah, May, June and July is that sort of thing. And then sort of, if I ever be able to have a holiday or something, maybe we'll slot a week away or something in there. Won't be this year, but talking of the future, maybe. Now, August is school holiday time, so that's a bit of a busy time for visiting places. So we probably would try and avoid that. So what would we do then? Maybe dedicate that to doing some jobs that never got completed, or if something else has cropped up unexpectedly and you think, got to get time to do that, maybe for us August would be the time to do it. So while it's a busy time, school's out and everybody's everywhere, that would be a nice month for us to catch up and do anything that's come along unexpectedly, or needs doing, or simply just enjoy local walks, or enjoy the garden, because we do the garden up and then enjoy the garden a bit. So have that month. We could perhaps have a bit of family time, maybe if it's nice weather, we've got enough money to buy all the barbecue food, we could do some family barbecues or something like that. So that would be quite a nice time. It'd be like not quite the middle of the year, it's just past the middle of the year, but it could be a nice time to have some family time. Because normally you'd sort of do that at Christmas, so it would be nice for us without having to go out and about and battle the crowds because of anxiety, and we don't have to stick to school holiday times. So yeah, that'd be ideal for that. Now September, obviously the children go back to school and it's quiet again, and a cheaper time. That might be a nice time to book holidays. We booked holidays then before, or just to go out and about on day trips. So September could be like another so-called travel month, for us. That would be ideal. And we have got some birthdays that month as well, so that would be quite nice. Now then we get to the latter half of the year. This is what we always say is our favourite part of the year. The favourite time is what we call, well, say the births, because we start with September because we do have a family birthday. So then we've got October, November, December. That's our favourite time. We love the autumn leading into the winter and all the activities that take place. And that's the time we gear up for Christmas. We start thinking about Christmas, we start buying for Christmas. And like Lisa and Dean, they like doing Halloween and they focus on that throughout October. And they got bonfire night in November, and like I say, everything's gearing up for Christmas. So I don't want to travel during those times at all. I wouldn't even want to try and travel. Even if I was a season traveller, I don't think I'd want to, because like I say, we focus on Christmas. They're our favourite months, our favourite time of the year. So yeah, that's what we would be doing then. And of course, the only travelling we would do, I mean, say wouldn't travel, there are things we do, and it's like going to Christmas themed places. We like going to the garden centres. There's some nice garden centres where we live, well, reasonably close to where we live, and they always decorate nice for Christmas. One of them has a skating rink, and Lisa and Sean used to go skating, and they don't do now, but they didn't last year, but they've often gone skating. We have hot coffees and chocolates and things like that, and it's really nice. And they have the reindeer, so we go around different garden centres or anywhere that might be a bit Christmas, say you Christmas markets and things like that. Local villages often have a Christmas market, so we'll do things like that as well, peppered in with doing all the Christmas shopping and planning. And I just love walking around the shops when they start getting the things in. Everybody says how early it is to get things in, but I think it's nice because, and especially like with us, we've always had a big family, so it's been better for us to start earlier. And I think now with the cost of living, a lot of people find it better to be able to start earlier. And it's all right saying, well, you could put a bit of money up, but you often find you dip into that if you're short in the year. So it's quite nice, you know, that you can start that bit earlier in the shops, because when you've got it has always been our motto. And you can't spend it if it's in the form of goods. So yeah, that's the sort of thing we like to do. October, November, December. So basically that's a rough outline of our year. We've roughly outlined that now, so that's how we can run it. But sorry about that, I had a bit of an interruption then. So yeah, that's how we sort of plan it roughly, an outline of how our year will be. We will, next year we'll start in January, and we will go more in depth. So like when I talk about the jobs that need doing around the house, we will have them all jotted down and sort of rough idea when we're going to do them. But of course, indoor outdoor jobs depends on the weather. So yeah, we'll have any jobs that need doing jotted down. We'll do that in January, and also places that we might like to visit or will attempt to visit, and any holidays that we might be able to afford to do or be brave enough to do. So all of them now will be sorted in the coming January. We've just sort of started working on this now, so it's a bit late. Things will be ad hoc this year, you know, we'll just decide as we go what we're doing. But from January, we're going to sort of plan our year out roughly. Of course, things will alter and you'll have things on and off, but it gives us a rough outline of what to expect or what we want to do during the year and what we're going to aim to do, rather than just sort of we go around loosely and not really know what we're doing some days and being bored. And Dean gets really bored, he likes jobs to do. So if he sees a list of jobs around the house, garden, he'll look forward to doing them, he'll enjoy doing them. And then sort of going out and about, we'll plan between us what places we like, where we enjoy going, and start from them and sort of see where that takes us. So yeah, I thought that's just a good idea, just to do like a seasonal retirement. So we've planned it sort of seasonally, how we're going to do it. But like I say, people do it differently. There's quite a few people who do seasonal retirement. I have heard of it before. Dean hadn't, but I had. And I know like people who travel, they travel with the seasons. So that's sort of their seasonal retirement. And people do different things around seasons and plan it differently. And I thought that would just work for us. That's roughly how we do things at the moment, you know, gardening that. But I thought this time I've allowed for months just for travel. I mean, like I say, obviously you've got to keep up with mowing your lawns and a bit of weeding if you've got a garden and whatnot. But aside from that, I've took specific months which, right, we are going to focus on that for travel, even if it's just like a walk somewhere or somewhere quite close by, but make a point of doing that. And something else that I do want to do, I mean, it's not really, well, say it's not seasonal, but if it's pouring rain and snowing or really bad, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I do need to move around more. I do need to try and incorporate some walking into it and getting out and about in that sense, even if it's just our local walks or along fields and things like that. I want to try and do that each day or as many days as the week as I can, because it'd be good for us to move around more. Because I find when we don't have any plans what we're doing, we just sit around and we don't do nothing and we're not moving, and that's not very good for our health. So I do need to move more. So yeah, aside from like the months I've dedicated for traveling, I want to get into a routine, maybe weekly routines, daily routines, where we try and incorporate a bit of walking, or at least say, right, we want to go out walking, say 3 times a week. And we sort of make sure we do those 3 times a week, how we're going to do it. It doesn't necessarily have to pinpoint it to a particular day, because obviously you don't always know what the weather's going to do. But if we say, right, that's this week's goal, so maybe we'll break it down into some weekly goals as well. So yeah, that's roughly what we've been talking about over the weekend, and to see if we can sort of get the memento going, and the momentum, is it the word? But yeah, to see if we can sort of get ourselves out of the rut and see where we're going and plan things and start to enjoy doing some things, and maybe, you know, getting into the hang of going out a bit more. Would like to go out more. I mean, while we've got health and we can, we should be really. So yeah, and of course doing the things that we both would like to do, not just one of us. But obviously compromise is a good thing, but it's meeting in the middle when you compromise, isn't it, rather than just it all being one person. So that's what we've been talking about, seasonal retirement. So yeah, I mean, if any of you retired, do you follow the seasons with your retirement? Do you have set plans? Do you make goals at the beginning of the year, what you're going to do throughout the year for you know, as part of your retirement plans? Let me know in the comments down below. So thank you for watching. I'm going to go into Aldi now because I need to get some salad for tea. Like I said, I'm going to do some omelettes and salad tonight. I think I'm going to try a mushroom omelette and see how it goes. Still doing this healthy thing. Tomorrow I might pop back tomorrow and when I'm at home, and show you some of the jobs. I've got 10 big jobs that I want, well, not all big, but yeah, 10 jobs, some of them a bit bigger than others, that we said we need to do. So we've written all the jobs down. I mean, it's a bit late because we're coming into what would be our travel bit now, but like I say, we're not going to follow that so much this year. That's our goal starting January, but we will follow it loosely. So I'll show you those jobs tomorrow. There are 10 jobs. The joys of retirement. So thank you for watching, and until tomorrow, take care everybody. Bye.